Good Wednesday evening, folks. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandages on June the 19th, 2024. Your tropical update. We now have Tropical Storm Alberto. Formed earlier this morning. This is the result of PTC-1 that we've been tracking the last several days. Finally got its act together and organized a bit more, but what's changed? Not much. Impacts are the same. This is basically rain with a name. Flooding continues to be the biggest impact in New Mexico and southern Texas. It does, however, I'll show you this in just a second, looks much more impressive on satellite imagery over the last 24 hours since we last spoke yesterday. Now, landfall of Alberto expected on the northern Gulf Coast of Mexico pre-dawn on Thursday, so less than 24 hours from now. With the formation of Alberto, the first named storm of the season, we are pretty much right in line with climatology of when we typically get the first named storm. That's right around June 20th. Today being the 19th, pretty much right on the nose there. And you see quickly thereafter, we see our next named storms coming in July, and then a lot of them forming usually in August. With Alberto being named as well, I'm a stat guy. I like looking back at historical facts about storms. Alberto was used 7 other times. So this is the 8th occurrence of using the name Alberto. First time it was used was back in 1982, and it reoccurs every 6 years because our lists rotate every 6 years. So we're back to Alberto after seeing it again in 2018. Here's a look at the storm tracks, a few of which developed in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, a few out in the Atlantic. You see the anomaly there in 2000. It was a major hurricane when it formed Alberto, but it stayed out in the open Atlantic and didn't impact anybody, thankfully. So that's the history of the naming of Alberto. Here's some diagnostics now looking at satellite imagery. This is a visible loop over the last 12 hours, and you can really see it taking on the appearance of a tropical system in the southern Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche moving to the west, a large system as well with a very large moisture envelope that's been throwing heavy rain up and over South Texas and into Mexico as well over the last several days, as it's been also a very slow mover. Switching up the filter, look at infrared satellite. If you've been watching the last couple of videos, we use this filter to depict the temperatures of the cloud tops, and when they're colder cloud tops, that tells us the thunderstorm activity is a little bit stronger. And what you can really see here with the white shades and black shades is the colder cloud tops, stronger thunderstorm activity, really flaring up near the center of Alberto over the last 24 hours. So definitely some more pronounced organization evident on satellite imagery there. Something I also want to show you is the large wind envelope associated with this. It's a rather lopsided system. So in regards to its movement, its trajectory due west, all the winds pretty much are on the northern side of it, or really to the east, I guess you can say, of the movement, right? The top of the storm system here. The winds extend out, tropical storm force winds, which is 39 miles per hour or greater, as of the latest Hurricane Center advisory, 360 miles to the north of the center there. However, I've been looking at some observations in South Texas, and we haven't seen any gusts coming close to that. So this isn't really verifying. There may be some of the stronger gusts out over the open waters of the Gulf, but not really seeing that verifying over land areas. Here's the forecast cone from the Hurricane Center, again making landfall pre-dawn Thursday. Hits the higher terrain, mountains of interior Mexico, and this thing will just rain itself out and fall apart. It will not make it over into the Pacific, nor will it bring any beneficial moisture into the southwestern United States that they can use with all the fires going on. Additional rainfall through tomorrow, flooding still ongoing and likely to occur through tomorrow. Storm surge 2 to 4 feet, large swells, and wind gusts maybe to 50 miles per hour as this thing maybe strengthens a little bit more before it makes landfall. Also, we're tracking in the Atlantic Basin 2 other waves. We've got one in the southwest Atlantic, well north of Puerto Rico, tracking pretty much due west. Low chances of developing here. However, it has been tagged Invest 92L. As this moves towards Florida, the east coast of Florida, maybe the coast of Georgia and South Carolina, it will bring increasing swells, rip current risk, and also squally weather, tropical downpours. So beach weather not looking the greatest for this weekend. And down in the southern Gulf of Mexico, again, same area where Alberto formed, there's another wave that may develop from the overall broad circulation we've talked about in previous videos, the Central American gyre. This is a 30% chance of that developing as we get into next week. So tropics beginning a little more active. That's the latest on this video, likely our last update on Alberto as it will make landfall before I see you again tomorrow evening. But if you have any questions, you can always find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, and also on TikTok. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.